we're here on Smells Like 90's Rock. It's Hot Toddy, and DJ P.O.R has arrived, has returned to the show.
I'm here.
He's back. I've lost my voice, and I've got phlegm going because he's already coming here with stories that's absolutely killed me, and I've laughed so hard I've almost lost my voice again. So thank
those
you
were
for
all
that.
of them, but
Those weren't all of them.
no, those were all
Those
of them.
were. Oh, well, that's a shame. 'Cause
Unless
I would love to
something
hear
just
more.
comes up, it might. I
It
might
could.
remember something.
It could. That's a fact. But those were glorious. those were the
They're pretty funny.
best.
They're pretty funny.
You do the best. You bring in the best stories. You really do.
They're not safe for airtime.
They're not
stories.
safe for airtime.
Well, they probably would be, but family members of mine would be embarrassed. So
right. They're
I'm
not
gonna
ready
save
for
them the
airtime
trouble.
stories, is what they are. But still, just glorious. But anyway, it's good to have you back. What's new in your world? The world of DJ P.O.R.
Just working, really.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We hired some new guys at work, and so now football season doesn't seem like it's going to be as torturous.
Football
as
season doesn't suck anymore.
It's not going to be the
Yes,
slow torture that it usually is.
Right,
So
right.
I'm pretty happy with that. It's
There
kind
you
of
go.
nice.
That's good news. That's
That doesn't
wonderful
happen
news.
very often.
No, that's great news. Seriously. Because I when I worked at the Golden Arches when I was in school, I refused to work game days. I refused.
Good. That was probably smart.
Yeah,
that was very
they
smart.
they asked me for my availability. And I said, sorry, bitches, I'm not available on Saturdays during football season. That's right, and it's true because I either went to the game or I did something else that didn't involve serving a bunch of people in orange in the entire day. I mean, I'd have a nervous breakdown. I don't see how you all do it. How you all can deal with that.
It's hard.
I can assume
very
so.
hard.
It won't be bad tomorrow because Tennessee's in
No,
Florida.
they're
so
away.
They're away, so it's okay. By the
Come
way,
on, just win, Tennessee.
predictions, Tennessee.
The last time UT won, I was going through puberty.
That's
you
right.
You guys need to win.
That's right.
Please.
The idea of sex was still far away
Yes.
during the last time.
No, it wasn't far. It was right there.
No,
The
it was
idea
right
of
there,
it.
but
it was in my face.
exactly. Beginning to actually do it,
Yeah.
far away. That was the last time that Tennessee won against Florida, 2004. It's been 11 years, so it's time to stop all this craziness. Now, I mean, it's been 11 years since we beat them here. I think it's been even longer since we beat them in the swamp. Was it maybe 12 years now? It's been a long ass
Probably.
time. It's been a long time, so this is doubly exciting if we can not only beat them but
We've
beat
been
them in
beat
Florida.
11 years in a row, is what I understand.
We have. We've been
12
exactly.
maybe.
We have been beat by Florida 12 times. 11 times, whether it was here or in Gainesville. But I swear, I think the last time we won there was either 02 or 03. I can't remember which. But
A while.
It's been a while. It's been since the 90's was just a few years ago. That was the last time we beat them in the swamp. I know that for sure.
Oh,
So that gives you any idea how big this game is. And I think we got the chance this year.
hopefully.
I
We had it
think
against
we got it.
Oklahoma, and then we just blew it.
That was just a series of unfortunate events and a series of stupid
series of
mistakes.
missed tackles.
Yeah, exactly. Missed tackles,
Good
missed
Lord.
opportunities,
But we're-
and no absolute defense whatsoever. I mean,
No,
nothing.
well,
yeah.
I won't say that.
No, I
Well,
will say that.
They got plenty of,
Towards the end.
penetration up at the front, but they always miss tackles.
That's right.
I think they fixed that problem.
That's the curse, though. We either have good offense and bad defense, or good defense to bad offense, and that's how we end up losing the games. But we also have the second half curse, which is what
We do.
came over us
But-
in that game where we just stomped them
Just come on, UT.
for 2 quarters, and then we lost it in the last 2. It's ridiculous, and 2 overtimes. That's sickening.
Oh,
That's sickening. I
that did hurt.
will never forget Bob Kessling's words because I was listening to him on the radio when he was stunned to see, because usually when the game is over, regardless of the outcome, people just pour out of the stadium and are gone within minutes. When they came back after the game over, he said everybody was still just standing in the stands, not moving, because they were just stunned by what they just saw. Nobody was moving.
I remember I was at work that day.
Yeah.
And when I left work, I checked the score. It was I think it was 17-3 still.
Yep.
And let's see, the quarterback for Oklahoma in the second half, he had thrown 0 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions. And by the time I got home, they were like 1 point behind,
Yeah.
and he had thrown 3 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions. I was like, I was gone for 10 minutes.
Exactly. I leave
was
you
literally
alone
gone
for 10 minutes. And then I come back and look what you've done. this is insane. It was. I mean, it was. That was a crazy night, and I don't think we'll soon forget it. I think we all can agree. Thank God it wasn't an SEC team, because I think the pain would linger a lot more following that if it had been. But
it was just number 20 in the country.
It was exactly. They were just like 5 spots ahead of us, so it was all right then. We were okay. We moved on, and then we stomped. Was it Western Carolina last week, which was great, but I mean it doesn't really mean much.
It doesn't mean much, but
It does. It wins a win. Yeah, but that's true. And we're 2-1 now. Florida is 3-0. So we'll wait and see what happens when tomorrow rolls around. But that's good for them. There has been so much about the 90s come up this week. It's been crazy. Did you see the video? I posted it on the Smells Like 90s Rock Facebook page and the Twitter page as well. And we have a new Twitter follower, and I will mention him in a minute. And it's very exciting. We'll get back to that here in just a second. But Kel Mitchell came out of nowhere on the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, and they recreated the Good Burger sketch. I kid you not.
I vaguely remember. I remember Good Burger.
Of course.
I just don't remember. I remember hearing about the sketch. I just didn't see it.
Yeah, it was amazing. And
Jimmy Fallon was on.
Jimmy Fallon. Of course, it was on the Tonight Show.
Was he ever on?
He was never on All That. No, he was
Did he ever
never
make a guest appearance
never,
on All That?
No. When All That was really popular, it was popular before anybody knew who he was. By the time he joined Saturday Night Live,
it had already been canceled.
No, it was still on, and it was still somewhat popular, but it was starting to kind of go downhill a little bit. But in its heyday, of course, it was. Yeah. It was the.
They made a movie about it.
Exactly. It was
Good Burger.
Exactly. Good Burger was All That's Wayne's World. I mean, that was how big that sketch was. It was their Blues Brothers or whatever. I mean, it was that big a sketch that they had and made a movie out of it. And of course,
probably the most memorable thing. Does anybody else remember anything from All that?
I do. I remember Vital Information with Lori Beth Denberg, which was their version of Weekend Update, but it lasted for like a minute or something like that. It wasn't that big a deal. And then you had she did the library. She was also the librarian. You remember that sketch?
I don't remember that one.
The joke was she would tell people to quiet down, stay quiet in the library, but she would shout it at the top of her lungs.
Okay, I think I vaguely remember something.
Keep quiet in the library. She would scream out. That's the.
I remember the lunch lady. Kenan Thompson as the lunch lady. I remember that.
I remember Kenan as I forget the guy in the bathtub that would always say something in French.
Yeah,
he thought it was very elegant. And then he translates it in English. It's something stupid. It was always that was another thing that he did, and it was always funny. Oh, and he was in the Good Burger sketch too. With
he
Fallon.
was.
He brought.
He was
back
in the movie too.
He was, but
I don't know if he was actually in the Good Burger sketch, but he was in the movie.
He was. He always usually made an appearance in the sketch as the character that he brought back this time, which was a construction worker. It was
okay.
I forget his name, but it was a very funny speaking, silly construction worker who always got irritated at Ed, played by Kel.
Right.
So that was always a funny sketch, but and funny characters in that. But yeah, so I mean, it's been a huge tribute to the 90s. And then they mentioned tonight, or just today, which is really weird because I used a picture of them as our promo picture for this week. They're rebooting Men in Black
again with new people.
With new people and no Will Smith. And everybody's
why not?
Well, my thing is everybody's stunned about that, but I'm like, when you reboot something, you don't usually bring back the old people. You're rebooting
why not? You
it.
got to pass the torch to somebody.
Exactly. Although that being said, they're rebooting, and I'm air quoting here, Ghostbusters. But Ernie Hudson's going to be coming back. He just confirmed, so that's going to be pretty cool.
Bill Murray's not going to come back though.
No. So this really is. So this new Ghostbusters really isn't a reboot. It's kind of like the next
rehash.
It's like the next generation of Ghostbusters, and like Ernie Hudson's going to be like their mentor or something like that.
Okay.
It looks really. I mean, I'm excited about it because for one thing, Melissa McCarthy's in it, and she's hilarious. And there's a lot of current females from Saturday Night Live who are really funny, who really the only ones carrying that show right now. Them and Kenan are the only ones really carrying that show right now. So
I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in a long time. I'm not really a fan of sketch comedy, to be honest.
Really?
Not a huge fan. I like Chappelle's Show.
Well,
that's the only old show that I can really.
You'd probably,
I honestly didn't even like all that much.
Well, that's blasphemy. But you'd probably, if you like Chappelle's Show, you'd probably like a show on True TV called Friends of the People. Very funny show.
Friends of the People.
Friends of the People. It's a good show.
I remember
stuff.
Good Burger was all right. That was an okay sketch I usually enjoyed.
Yeah, what was the most popular?
Was that
like I said,
was that your life at McDonald's though?
what that? No,
No.
Well, no. If Ed is the customer and I'm and I'm what I'm trying to say is like the personality of the customer was Ed and the personality of myself would be the customer.
Okay.
In real life, that's reverse those, and that was my life at McDonald's.
I feel like that was kind of like my life at my job, but it was kind of like that multiplied by 10 at my old job.
Yeah,
and way more dysfunctional. It's not just like quirky mix-ups like I wanted this food.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry about
it was
that.
Can't
do that.
Like an example. My last job, this one guy was talking about how he robbed this guy who was gonna buy crack.
That's wonderful.
And his rationale is like, no, I was doing a good deed. Like his rationale was like he was stopping the guy from buying crack. I'm like, no, you just force him to perform oral sex.
Exactly.
For crack now.
Oh man, that took a turn real fast.
But he was just goofy.
Yeah.
But I mean, he gave me this really weird, wishy-washy analogy about sheeps and wolves and how you have to survive. You have to be a wolf or something. I'm like, yeah, it's exactly the same, except you robbed a crack addict.
So really creepy.
It's the
and
same
weird.
thing.
Exactly. Thanks, weirdo. Thanks for that. That's really wonderful.
I've heard he's at a homeless shelter as of recent. So.
Ha!
Oh well.
Boom. That's what happens when you're a freak. There you go.
Oh.